Wednesday. Hi, you all. Okay, it's almost 1:30 on Wednesday afternoon, and Maddie and I are just packing up. We're getting ready to head out to Limitless Church, and we're setting up for the Limitless Ladies. So I just wanted to jump on here quickly and encourage y'all, especially any local ladies. We want to see you. We want you to come on out. We want you to have fun. We want to create a safe environment to have fun, have connectivity with other women, be able to encourage and inspire. Oh, Pastor Ann is in the house. Welcome, welcome, Anna Bobana. That's what I want to say when I hear your name. I need coffee this morning. I haven't had coffee yet. Anyway, so we are calling out all the local ladies that are out there, and we want you to come on in and join the fun. So this is going to be like nothing I'm sure you've ever experienced, because I've not experienced this. So growing up, I talk about growing up and going to Petrolia Church for years and years and years. And I was so excited when I was in high school that I was going to be able to go to this women's group, and it was called Body, Soul, and Spirit. Hey, Angel, I just saw your picture on there. It's epic. Love it. Love it. Hey, Latanya, thanks for joining us. So anyway, I was so excited when I was in high school that, when I graduate and when I'm like a woman, I'm over 18 and all that jazz and matazz, I'll be able to go to this group. And I was super excited because in my last year of high school, I had a spare, and I used to go play the piano sometimes and help them out. And I just remember thinking, this is so fun. I would love to be part of a group like this. So lo and behold, I graduated from high school and the whole thing went down the toilet, and they just didn't have it anymore. So I was really bummed out, and I was like, wow. And there never really seemed to be anything that picked up momentum like that around the area. And to be honest, I talk about this in my live videos in the past, which if you missed any of the Facebook lives, they're deleting them. But I have a YouTube channel, Connie Mannering, on YouTube, and you can go catch all the lives there. We just move them on over to that. Hey, Margie, my birthday twin. Hey, Mary. Thanks for joining. So that being said, I've talked about in the past for 20 years being Madison's mom. It was all encompassing, and I didn't really get to do a lot of women's things, connectivity with other women, going on any women's events, participating in any women's things. But the first time we did that was going to Real Talk Kim's conference a couple years ago. So I realized, you always know this, but sometimes as women, we put ourselves on the bottom of the list, right? We don't do it intentionally, but, we take care of everybody else. We're the nurturers in the family. We're kind of the glue that holds everyone together. So what happens is sometimes we put ourselves on the bottom of the list, and we really maybe don't take care of what we need to fill ourselves up. I always say, we need to fill our tanks up, and, because then it helps us do better just in life. When our tanks are filled and we're encouraged, and we know we have people that we can lock arms with and that are there for us, it just makes all the difference in the world. So that all being said, we are starting Limitless Ladies. And the tag phrase is laughing and loving ladies back to life, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to have it as a safe environment to laugh and love ladies back to life, to inject them with joy in Jesus. And just to encourage them, to build them up. We want to build you up, buttercup. Right, Maddie? Maddie's going to it's her day off, so we're going to have to go live later in the afternoon now on Thursdays once we get started. But it is starting at 9:30. Hey, Roxanne, welcome. So it's starting at 9:30 in the morning, goes to about 11:30. And you know what? This week and September 11th is just going to be like a meet and greet. It's going to be more casual. It's just connecting all the women together to meet each other, to do some icebreaker stuff and that, talk about what plans we have for the fall and what the agenda looks like. Because, God is just giving me all these great ideas, and I'm so excited to implement them and just to have fun with the women. So tomorrow, is our first meet and greet. And we're going to connect the ladies tomorrow and kind of just have a, chill time, icebreaker, introductions, all that, talk about things that we have planned for the next year. And then September 11th will be another meet and greet. And then in October, we're going to launch doing every week Limitless Ladies. So if you're local, grab a friend, grab a daughter, a granddaughter, an aunt, whoever, as long as you're female, your neighbor, who knows, who cares, but anybody that needs more joy in their life, more laughter in their life, want to have a good morning connecting with other women and a coffee, then come on out. We want to encourage you. So I talk about it in my book, Beauty in the Ashes, that I wrote, that, when I was going through a really not so fun time in my life and going through cancer, and, my eyebrows fell out, my lashes, and I never grew back, and I wore a wig, and it was just like, it was a season of new things for sure. But what I found was there was a cancer program here in Canada called Look Good, Feel Good. Look Good, Feel Better, sorry. And I went to it and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And it was so true, because when I looked good, I felt better, right? So I know other women that have experienced this too. So when you get yourself fixed up, and you know what? It doesn't even have to be dressed up. You can put a pair of jeans on and a pair of sparkly earrings, and some lipstick, and you can feel like you're conquering the world, right? I had a lady in her 70s last week say to me, my mom, when she put on red lipstick, it's like she could do anything and conquer the world. And so what we want to do is we want to empower women, body, soul, and spirit. So that encompasses a lot of stuff, right? So we want to give tips and tricks to ladies, whatever that might be. Cooking ideas, meal prep, working out, makeup, hair, fashion, how to pick outfits out on a budget, that, and how do you know what looks good for your body type, and, health and wellness, beauty, lifestyle, community. I'm just writing down some of the things, everyday hacks, everyday tips and tricks. So that I see Angel on here. Thank you, Angel, for tagging people. You're amazing. Anyway, Romy, thank you. Hello, sisters. So everyday tips and tricks, because you know what? Angel might have something in her toolbox and her, bag of tricks that works amazing for her family, right? And it's just like she knocks it out of the park. She's got that favorite recipe that's, organic, gluten-free, sugar-free. Listen to me, that she loves to do for her family. And she can pass on those little tips and tricks, or she could have like a spotlight of 10 or 15 minutes to talk about whatever it is that, she wants to share with the ladies that's really made a difference in her life. So it could be health and wellness. It could be fitness. It could be working out. It could be hair care. It could be like, oh my gosh, what happens when you're over 40? With your hormones. Oh my goodness, that's like, you are fab. Woo! Love you, Romy. And you're another Canadian. And I'm proud to be a Canadian, or at least I know I'm free. Okay, so there's going to be all kinds of fun, right? And because I love fashion, because of all the stuff that God downloaded to me in all the years of my life, and here I am sitting at 53. Hey, Deborah. I hope you're coming on Thursday. She's a local lady. Anyway, so I want to just share that with other women, because I know in my life, when I look good, I feel better. And the outcome is that you can do better. You can conquer things. You can be successful. And then, of course, it's going to be faith-based, because I love Jesus. I'm a Joy in Jesus injector. So it's going to be all rolled up into one big ball. And we're going to help ladies, and we're going to love them back to life, because we all have a different story. And there's women that are going through things that maybe are not so fun, and they just need to be encouraged. They need some prayer. You helped me dress. Woo! I sure did, Angel. And I saw your picture and I was like, girl, you looking good. I'm so glad we decided, the boots with the jacket and all of the black. You look amazing, just the way you are. You're rocking it. And then you finished it off with the crown. So we want to just love ladies back to life. We want to make a fun Joy in Jesus. I love that. Don't you love that, Mary? I love thrifting. Yes. So we're gonna teach people how to thrift. I'm sorry, but you know what? I love high end. I love designer. Joseph Ribkop is my favorite designer in Canada. Love his clothes. Love everything he makes. It seems to just go good on my body. I like Gucci, I like Louis Vuitton. We like it all, but I like sparkle. You know what? But you know what? You throw a little thrift in there, and those are the unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that nobody has, and that's what we all love, right? That's what I love anyway. And I started thrifting way back when, long time ago, when Maddie was a baby. And I found out that she had sensory processing issues. You help my sister, girl. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet, Angel. So Madison had all these sensory issues. So I would buy all these baby clothes and have to cut the tags off from Gymboree, spend a fortune, because she would not try them on if there was any tags on them. I was like, man, this seems like a waste of money. I'm paying all these dollars for this stuff and I can't even return it because I had to cut the tags off. So I learned to start thrifting with her because she was just that kind of kid. And she had, seams, and it had to be something that was soft and smooth. And so that was kind of like my gateway to thrifting. And then I was hooked ever since because I always loved old things. So I love antiques. I love vintage. I love Victorian, but then I like smacking it all together with modern too. And then it just makes you uniquely one of a kind being you, which is another thing that we're going to talk about is being one of a kind, uniquely to you, and, help draw that out of people. What is it? Well, how has God made you uniquely different? And what can you do about that? The sky's the limit, whether it's the way you dress, whether it's the job you're doing or a business that you're looking at or anything really. But we just want to encourage ladies to do their best and be there, lock arms together, be there to support each other, encourage each other, and do fun things together. Have fun food and really good coffee. And we just, my friend Liz, that is Mary Kay director for years and years and years. And I know I've talked about Liz before, but she's going to be there helping me. She has done Mary Kay for a kabillion years. I don't know how many years, but lots of years. And she's got all kinds of tips and tricks that she can share with people. And she'll be probably doing spotlight mini makeovers on every week. And it's going to be so fun because, you think of mini make, and you know what? You think of me and you think, I don't want to wear lashes like her. She's too much. And that's okay, right? The reason I wear these lashes is because I got nothing. When I take these off, it's naked. My lashes never grew back, so that's why I do it. But you don't all need to do that. But I can help you learn if you want to learn how to glue lashes on and what's worked for me, right? I can share those tips and tricks. But Liz will be there too to be able to tell people, you know what, if you just want mascara, if you just want a little lip gloss, but you know what, we're all uniquely different, right, Latanya? It's so true. And it's learning to where, what works for you, what clicks and resonates with you, and then you just go for it. And it's just like, and when you can be consistent and do that every day, it helps you feel better, then you know what? You're going to walk with more confidence. You're going to have more zip in your step, and the byproduct is you're going to be more successful in life, whatever that is. If it's being a wife, if it's being, a mother, if it's being, at your job. But I find with women, we have so much on our plate, right? Just regular everyday life that, we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're laundry, you're organizing, you're organizing the kids and taking them here and there and work schedules and whatever it is, meal prep, housekeeper, whatever it is, whatever your lane is. A woman is always a massive multitasker, and she's always usually the glue that holds everybody together. And, she's usually the heartbeat of the family. And sometimes we don't look after ourselves that well. We put everybody else first, and then we're getting the drops that's left at the end. Dana, I love thrifting in Atlanta. I got a pair of designer boots in excellent condition for $5. Senior Citizen Day. Don't you love it? And you know what? Talking about that, look at these babies I got on today. I got these thrifting. Okay, I got these thrifting. They are Christian Louis Vuitton. Wasn't planning on them. Look at these babies. I wasn't going to show them, but Dana, being as you brought up about thrifting and got a designer pair of boots, I'm like, aren't these babies the coolest? Like, or what? Yeah, you don't need to see the dirty soles. But you know what? Thrifting is amazing. I would have never bought these. I would have not gone out to the mall and looked for them, gone into specialty boutiques, but they were sitting there and I'm like, hey, those are my size. I think I like them. So you know what? And what I find is when I pay a lot of money for something, I've done that for you, you go out on a $1,500 shopping spree, and anybody that's done that, it's like, okay, well, you know what? I really like this piece and I'm going to wear it for a long time. Those are so cool. But sometimes when you're thrifting, it's like, you know what? For $249, I think I'm going to have all 6 of them, right? I learned how to make fascinators with round placemats. Oh, that is so cool. I want to hear all about it. See, now that's the kind of stuff I love. And I want to have a Victorian tea party next summer for all the ladies. And I thought, we could all wear fascinators or hats. But if you don't want to, that's okay. You don't have to. You can rock a ball cap. You can rock a headband. You can rock a ponytail. And it's okay. We're going to love you no matter what. But sometimes just having a little bit of fun, right? That's what happened to me. That's why I wear fascinators. I probably have 100 of them, and hats, probably 100 hats. And I tend to wear the same ones over and over again. I like my everyday ones. But you know what? That's what happened to me after my cancer journey and God touched my life. I decided that I was going to dress up and celebrate life every day. And you know what? Sometimes people think I'm too much, but you know what? It's like God made me like this and I'm okay to rock it. And there's nothing like feeling like you can authentically be yourself, and there's no more joy in that. When you learn, and this is what I'd really love to help people with and try to teach women to, like, not to care what people think. Not to care, like, my friend Sharon on Facebook here, she says, purple hair don't care. And she's got a chunk of purple hair and she looks amazing in it. And it's like, it's when you, hey, Lindsay, thanks for joining us. But when you learn to not care what people say and just walk in how God made you be and be comfortable in your own skin and whatever that means, like, just go for it, right? And then when you rock it and you're comfortable in that, you know what? It starts changing so many things in your life, right? It starts changing your confidence. You have motivated me to be bolder. Oh, thank you so much, Dana. Because you know what? Who really cares? We tend to think people are looking at us and talking about us and but really they're like my friend Liz. She's like, pass the butter. They're like, they're gone on with their life. They're eating supper and they're not talking about you. But sometimes we can get stuck that, oh, what if people say this? Or what if people do this? And what if people think I'm crazy because I'm wearing this or doing this or whatever it is? But you know what? When you can lose the weight of other people's opinion, it's so freeing and it's so exciting. And oh my goodness, just reminded me to go pick up my patch. Sorry. I don't know what that means. I'll be sorry later if I don't. Okay. So congratulations, Dana. You are amazing. So I just wanted to jump on to encourage all the local ladies, and also anywhere you are, you can be part of our online group that we are just starting and kind of getting in the works now. So, but you have to answer the 3, questions on there, the security questions to be able to be accepted in the group, or it just says no and it's an automatic decline. Get free from staying stuck on stupid. Yes, isn't that so important, Cheney? So we can't. Oh, estrogen. Okay, got it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all that, women over 40 and hormones, and because that's a real thing, and there's things that work well. And there's things that maybe don't work well. There's things that maybe are not great for your body. And as a breast cancer survivor, I've got some tips and tricks in my toolbox that I can't really sometimes talk about online, if you know what I mean, because I've got in trouble before. But I just have found and got information of things that work. And, that's something that's God's just organically shown me, and that I've walked through, and that I can share with other women. Because sometimes, you know what, when we meet other women, it's like you can glean from them and take, different things. Like I said, we all bring something to the table differently because we're all uniquely one of a kind, designed differently. So somebody might be like fit like Chris, that's with Pastor Kim, her thing is working out, right? And there's different people, there's healthcare coaches, there's people that are into fashion, like Dr. Tiffany Love, like she's an amazing designer and does bang on stuff, right? So, and it's like my friend Liz that does Mary Kay and makeup. There's different people that do hair and wigs, but sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, right? So what, if you've only got this much knowledge, then it's like it's good to expand that, because knowledge can be very powerful and it can help you, and it can give you different tips and tricks that can, change your life. Sister, I'm just now supposed to get a mammogram and I don't want to fear for breast cancer, but I want to face it head on. I do not bring generational curse on. I wouldn't even go for a mammogram, but that's just me, because when you research about that can actually be not great. But I'm not going to get onto that topic, but that would be a topic that I would talk gladly to anybody about at the Limitless Ladies group. And don't live in fear. God hasn't given us the spirit of fear, power, love, and a sound mind. Just, you know what? When you have that thought, you need to rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I do not receive that. I speak blessings. I cancel every curse against me. I'm walking in health and wellness and victory. I mean, I haven't even been to a doctor in 8 years, so. But that's me. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I'm just saying sometimes this journey of life can be a real faith walk. And you know what? Sometimes we need to pull our miracles down from heaven. Sometimes we need to speak into the atmosphere, and the scripture, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Let me just tell you, it's so important to speak life. It's so important to speak life. And it's so important to lock your arms with other women that also speak life, right? Super important. And you know what? God has got great plans for all of us. So I just want to encourage you to come on out. If you have a woman that's locally, I even have a lady that's an hour away that she's on holidays, but she's going to bring carload next time of people out of town because they don't have anything in their city. And we are just going to have fun. And we're going to build a community that is going to have fun, that's going to encourage each other, it's going to laugh. We're going to come up with tips and tricks that are going to help make our life better. We're going to talk about joy in Jesus and, I just give testimonies. I want to have 2-minute testimonies every week with a little buzzer to just be like, okay, anybody got a 2-minute testimony? We're going to have fun because you know what? If I'm going to do it, it's not going to be a drag. I'm just going to let you know that. And if I'm too much for you, then that's okay. You don't have to come, but we're going to encourage y'all to come out. I think you're amazing. Oh, thank you, Tammy. I love you. I love you. I love you. Life is in the blood and life is in your mouth. You're right, Angel, right? So true. And when we can grab onto that, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. It is life-changing. I know we talked about that before. And, one of the most popular videos I've ever done, I think almost 5,000 people watched it. And it was talking exactly about that, about life and death are in the power of your tongue. So you know what? Make sure when you're talking in the atmosphere and you're declaring, you're decreeing, make sure it's the right thing. Because you can really back up the bus if it's not. Right? And you don't want to ever get out of alignment of where God has you going, right? So you want to walk in the best years of your life. You want to claim that and you just want to walk into that. And you know what? That is what we're there to encourage women. So there is going to be all kinds of things: joy, purpose, relationships, laughter, fun, health, fitness, wellness tips, clean living, natural remedies. Sorry, I need a coffee. I haven't had one yet. Recipes, nutrition, hair, makeup, skincare, style, fashion, self-care routines, balance, organization. Because sometimes we need I have an amazing friend that is organization queen to the maximum. She can help you purge, but organization tips, everyday hacks, thriving as women and leaders. How do we do that? How do we propel ourselves forward? How do you take a business idea or an idea that you have of something that you're good at, and how do you turn it into a business idea, right? And community, connectivity, support, laughter, praying for each other through challenges, celebrating wins. Wow, can you imagine ladies getting together and celebrating the wins? That's what we need, because sometimes women are not the greatest at seeing the gold in each other and pulling it out, right? Sometimes we can be a little bit funny. If you're not part of my club, you just stay over there. We're not that. God has called me to love everybody, and it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get loved when you come through. So we all need to be Jesus with skin on. Because you know what? There's somebody out there somewhere that when you're just, living everyday life, wherever you go, whether it's Goodwill, the grocery store, a church ladies group, Denisha, welcome. It doesn't matter where it is. God can use us. God can use us as a tool to make an impact on somebody else. And all those impacts get stacked together because we don't know what seeds God's planting, right? And who's watering them and when the harvest is coming, right? So that's all so important. So keep watering the seeds, keep going out there, keep being Jesus with skin on, keep making a difference. And the testimony is going to start kind of flooding back in. Right? Don't have that country club mentality that you think you're better than other people, that, you are up here and everyone else is down here and nobody can surpass me because I'm the king of the castle. We all live like that as kids, right? You all, there was like the king of the castle. And if you didn't belong to that group, then you were like chopped liver and blah, 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 blah. No, let's raise everybody else up And if they need help with something and they don't know something, then let's share that with them. Hey, Denisha, welcome, welcome. And Cherie, welcome, welcome. So, you know what? Just, it's such a great feeling to help other women and to bless somebody else or whatever it is. Like if you can share something with them that could change their life, it is, you know what? It makes it all so worthwhile. Right? Because sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And it's just like, just think of the people that don't know Jesus, that, you know what, you could be the only Jesus that they see, and how you react to a situation or how you love them in a circumstance, right? So we have to get rid of the country club mentality. We have to get rid of the country club mentality and learn to love and embrace everybody. And you know what? That's when we're really going to see Jesus do some amazing things, because he wants us to love everybody, right? He wants us to embrace everybody. And the people that walk in our life are for a reason. I totally believe that. Some people might think I'm crazy, but that's okay. So that's what we just want to encourage women to love each other and encourage each other. I was only going to jump on for 5 minutes, and now I've been on for I don't even know how long, but I was thinking nobody would be on, and I was just going to give a little announcement, and then I'm going to be gone. But here we all are. So that being said, it's going to be totally exciting. And so the people that don't get to come in-house and do it live, we're going to be posting tips and tricks in our Limitless Ladies group. And each week, my goal is to have businesses there that they're going to speak about whatever products it is. If it's hair, if it's makeup, it's glasses, if it's accessories, if it's whatever, then they're going to be talking about their thing. And then the goal is that if you have a registered business and you have things that are for sale, then we're going to have little tables set up. So that can just be another little commercial treat for women, that if they don't get out, then they'll know there'll be, you know, some cutesy things there, and you don't have to buy it. It can just be there for show and tell, you know, that this is what I do, and you can support and, you know, share their stuff online on social media. But you know what, just make it a fun place to be in a fun environment, and you know what, get the word out about, you know, just different things that can help women do better. And then of course, you're absolutely right. God sent me complete strangers. I wish I could be there. Oh, but you know what? God bless you, Denisha, for being in tune with that, realizing God is sending you complete strangers. And you know what? God uses people. So I know I've talked about this on my Miracle Monday before, but God uses people. And I never want to miss something, an assignment that he has for me, right? That I can be smack dab in the middle of. And if, you know, if I'm not obedient, then I might miss the miracle for somebody else or myself, right? And even the story I told on Monday this week about my miracle that happened, that, you know, through somebody else's obedience, it just answered my prayer, and that just made it so miraculous. And God is so good, right? That if we are willing and, you know, to be obedient and to walk forward, and whatever that looks like, man, God will send complete strangers, Denisha, and he will use us, and it will be for his glory, and it will be mind-blowing. And here's Tiffany Love in the house. If you guys haven't followed her, you need to follow her. Drop your thing in the chat, Tiffany, about your amazing products. I mean, I got to connect with you. I am like so far gone here. I'm so busy, but I saw all that stuff you made for Pastor Kim. I'm like, she's the bomb. She is the bomb. She got some amazing design. She did a jacket for Angel that was stunning. She did a jacket for my husband. And now Maddie and I want to get our jackets, and we're going to very soon. But life has been so busy. So here we are. And I think that's basically it. I just want you encouraged to come out. We're going to laugh and love ladies back to life. We are going to feed women body, soul, and spirit. Because you know what? That body, soul, and spirit, it makes up who we are. And how we look after all those parts and pieces of our life make a difference of the outcome of who we are. I love those glasses. Thank you, Abby. Abby, are you still down at Rodney Howard Brown's? I saw your post. I think it was you, if I'm remembering right, but there's so many thousands of people online, but I think it was you, but I hope you had a fabulous time. Florida is calling, and there's nothing like going to Rodney Howard Brown's. I think you're going to the healing school, but we love Rodney Howard Brown. Great man of God. I absolutely love my blazer from Tiffany. Well, I'm telling you, Angel, you're a rock star in that. It is stunning, stunning, stunning. So I think I'm going to love you and leave you because I'm supposed to be at the church at 2:00. That's in 9 minutes, and I'm still live here. And I needed to get a coffee, and I actually needed to go buy some balloons, and that's so I'll have to do that later. And I want to unlock the church for the ladies coming to help set up. So all that being said, wrapping it up. I'm here until Saturday. I got my healing too. Praise the Lord! Isn't that exciting? Woo! You have to tell me about that. You should be going live and talking about that, Abby, because that is amazing. And you know what? I get excited because when people get their healing and when people get their miracle, I'm telling you, there is nothing like it. It changes your life. It's just like you've been kissed from heaven. And it's such a special thing, and I'm so excited for you. So you need to jump online. You need to tell everybody about it. You need to brag on Jesus, and I would love to hear it too. So make sure you tag me or tell me about it, because you need to do that, because God is so good and he is so faithful. And praise the Lord. I actually talk about in my book, in the back of my book, I had a creative miracle happen with Ankit Ramaboo. I don't know if anybody knows Evangelist Ankit Ramaboo. Abby, you've probably maybe seen him there. And anyway, it was a service during COVID that I was watching online, and Evangelist Ankit Ramaboo was preaching, and I got a creative miracle and healing. And I talk about that in my book. So not to give it away, I will do a live. That is a great idea. Yes, you should. Because you know what? Abby, that is what launched me and propelled me just to talk about Jesus and help people, because what he's done for me. Just my testimony. I was just talking to a lady on the phone this morning that said 15 years ago, I would have not done this, touched it with a 10-foot pole. I didn't even like to hear my voice out loud, but God has done so much healing in me and brought me so far from where I used to be. And, you know, sometimes whatever it is, you know, myself, I was in a relationship that I didn't realize it was toxic, that was suffocating me and depleting me without getting into it. And when God lifted that off my back and healed me of cancer, and I realized, like, what am I doing? I have a whole life ahead of me, and this is not what God's intention was for marriage. And, you know, I had biblical grounds for divorce. And as scared as I was, I stepped out. And I'm telling you, God has changed my whole entire life. And that's why I can't help but jump on here, try to encourage other ladies, try to, you know, God dropped this in my heart about starting this ladies group. And I'm so excited because I just want to connect. I want to be the connector. And I don't want a lady that's local to be living in any kind of fear, anxiety, you know, any apprehensions about anything about their life. You know what I mean? Like, if they can just get healed and get better, and we can be part of that, then that is my prayer. That is my vision. So I want to link all these people together and have fun when we're doing it, because you know what? There's nothing like having a good belly laugh. There's nothing like being encouraged, right? So glad you stepped out. You bring hope to so many. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. So there's nothing like having a good laugh, good fun, being around the right people, and being encouraged. Joy in Jesus injector here. And I'm going to sign off because I have to be in the church now in 6 minutes, and I'm still talking to you. So I'm going to love you and leave you. And any of the local ladies, come on out. 9:30 tomorrow morning at Limitless Church, 608 Errol Road West, Sarnia, Ontario. And you know what? If you're in the area, around the area, we're going to be starting a full-time program in October. So we want you to join us. And if you have not joined the group, join the Facebook group, Limitless Ladies. You'll see my face. You'll see the crown on my head. Laughing and loving ladies back to life. Do the security questions. You encourage me. Oh, I love you, Ann. You're amazing, just the way you are. So God's got a plan for everybody. God's got a plan for Ann, Denisha, Abby, Angel. Y'all, God's got great plans for you. And we're going to blow the roof off of this. And you know what? It doesn't matter where you live. We can lock arms together, encourage each other. And then who knows, someday you might actually meet in real life. You know, when we have a conference up here in Canada, when God's blowing up our church, we're going to invite you all up, and maybe we'll get to connect. Maybe we won't, but the joy of being online is we can encourage each other, and the Lord lift each other up, and you never know what God is going to, you know, do and connect people and the miracles that are going to come from that, right? So we are 9:30 tomorrow morning. Maddie and I will be going live probably at 4 o'clock. It'll change from 11:30, Maddie and Mom, but we're going to have fun and we'll be back to tell you what happened tomorrow at 4 when Maddie and I go live, but we're super excited. We probably will not be live tomorrow from the church just because it's a meet and greet and that it's not anything too but join the group and you can keep in contact and we would love to encourage you. We would love to pass on whatever tips and tricks we have going on every week. And you know what? We're going to love being ladies. We're going to love it. Because you know what? Being a lady is fun. Okay? It's not just lattes and lipstick, but there's lots that encompassing to being, a Proverbs 31 woman. And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Okay? So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to head over to Limitless Church. So thank y'all for joining. Love you all. Bye.